They are six-figure deals. Every single one of them has been a six-figure deal for me. Never had one that's less than a six-figure deal. And it's just an amazing strategy to use. And funny enough, I have an example that I've done this a lot. I've gone after adverse possessions. Little ninja trick on where to find this. I'll give you a hint. It's on the property appraiser. But I promise you, 99.9% of people don't even know it's there because it's so small and you have to know where to look to see that an adverse possession claim has been filed. Some of my biggest deals have been this. Through this adverse possession claim, I find an heir. We buy their interest and then we file for a quiet title usually, or we just smoke the professional squatter. And you know, it happened yesterday. I got a call from a deed that I owned, I think over a year ago. I've owned the deed in Hialeah, Florida. No mortgage on it. Property's worth about $300,000 ARV. There's someone living inside of it. We're not sure if it's a tenant or the actual professional squatter. I'm going to say it's a tenant because I think they've been renting it. They've been paying property taxes, the professional squatter, for 8 years. And I get a call yesterday from an attorney, nonetheless, who was calling me personally, so he must have skip traced me. And the attorney was actually the father of the gentleman that filed the adverse possession, and I won't say any names. So it's very interesting that the attorney would end up there. You got to know what you're doing, and knowing what you're doing puts you in a driver's seat and in a position of power. So when he called me and he basically told me who he was, I didn't remember right away, but then I asked him about the property, and then I recalled the address, and I said, well, are you the one that's doing the adverse possession claim? And he was like, yeah, I am. Well, actually, my son is. And I said, well, that's great. You know, I have heirs that I bought the interest in, and we've obtained, you know, ownership that way. And then he asked me, well, did you do a probate? And I said, that's irrelevant. You know, did you finalize your adverse possession claim? Because he purported himself as, oh, well, I'm the owner. And then he said, well, my son's the owner. And then you have to know what questions to ask. And I said, well, did you file and complete the adverse possession claim or do a quiet title? And he said, well, no, not yet. I said, so you're not the owner. So you're paying and you're in the middle of an adverse possession claim. I'm technically the owner. He's like, yeah, well, I saw you got a deed from a distant heir. And I'm like, well, it's better than what you have. So anyway, I connected him with our attorney. Now they're negotiating back and forth. And my position is give me 200 grand and I'll walk away. You could still make 100. You've probably rented it and made money. So he knows he's up Shit's Creek without a paddle. And we know we're in the driver's seat. It's nice considering that we bought the deed for $3 grand. So a very, very true reverse flip deal on that one. Done that many a times in my career. I find them all the time. It's a very difficult, if not near impossible list to find. And you know what you're doing because you bang your head up against the wall a lot. But it is an amazing list to get. Very difficult, high degree of execution and high degree of skip tracing is required and a very high degree of perseverance. But they are six-figure deals. Every single one of them has been a six-figure deal for me. Never had one that's less than a six-figure deal. And it's just an amazing strategy to use.